Mrs. Drazen, Senator. How are you today?
I'm really good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Welcome to the Hold Fast podcast. We had a great time at let's see, we were at coronation together. That's right. Um
Good
that
times.
was up, yeah, that was up in Canby, where you're from.
hmm
One of my favorite rodeos. We're there set up with our big booth every year. So I'll open in a little prayer and then we'll get into some conversation if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Father, thank you for bringing us together today, Lord. I pray for wisdom and just good conversation today that glorifies you, Lord. Thank you for Christine. We lift her up to you today, Father, and just ask that you give her wisdom and strength as she navigates the political system, Lord. And again, we're thankful to be here. In Jesus' name, Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, Christine, I kind of wanted to start with just an introduction. If you let the people out there know who you are and what you're currently up to.
I am Christine Drazen, state senator at the moment, and I am originally from Klamath Falls.
Oh,
I
me too.
Are you really?
I
So I love bumping into people from Klamath, and it's kind of a bummer that so many people from Klamath now are not from Klamath.
Yeah.
And that's certainly our story in our family, but my family is from that area. So my parents are high school sweethearts, and then after Vietnam, my dad brought us all back there and started working in the mills. And that only lasts as long as the mills are running. And
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
stop, you move. And that's certainly our family story. I started working in politics though out of college, just pure curiosity. I don't know if you ever felt that way, like what is this really about?
Yeah.
And and I was crazy enough to go see for myself. And so I did that for 8 years and was chief of staff to the speaker and really, really loved that time. And then I ran for office myself in 2018 for the House. My own legislator had retired, and folks were asking me if I'd consider it. And I eventually said, "Yeah, I'll give this a go because it just feels like it matters who serves. There's a
Yeah.
lot that happens in our public life and in Salem. So I wanted to raise my hand and be a part of trying to make things better.
Yeah. Here I am. Send me.
Yeah,
You're braver than I am. Of course, I probably have enough dirt they'd dig up on me to where I wouldn't get many votes, but that's a whole testimony that I was able to build the tough way. But now I
yeah,
have it, so and I try
yeah,
to use it as much as I can. And
yeah.
so growing up in Klamath, the Reynolds family, me, my brother, my mother, my grandparents, all my uncles, all spent a lot of time in Klamath Falls. I think I was there till I was, oh, I want to say 17 probably, and then moved to
Okay.
Washington with my dad. But yeah, we're Klamath people. Spent a lot of my time in Keno, which is still
Yeah,
one of my favorite places.
yeah.
I don't get back to Klamath that often. Um, I think that as far as Klamath Falls go, unfortunately, there's just not a lot going on if you're a young family, if you're a professional, not a lot
Yeah.
of money, not a lot of commerce going on. And so, but someday if I'm going to retire, Keno is on the list.
Oh,
So
I love that.
yeah, not as
Love
high
that.
up as Prairie City,
hmm
but Keno's on it.
Prairie City. That's a good one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's out there. It's a little random. Most people don't know it, but I drove
Yeah.
through there on our way home from Snake River Stampede last year in Idaho. Um, we were headed back through on our way to Prineville, I think, to go to Crooked River Roundup, probably. And we pulled down I guess the Blue Mountains, and you see the Strawberry Mountains on the left and that whole valley, and I immediately fell in love with that place.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
It
So.
is a special part of the state.
Yeah, it really is. The whole John Day River too. Our favorite rodeo is spray rodeo. And so we get out there to
Mhm.
spray. We had the sheriff of the county out there on, I think, the last episode actually. Super nice guy. But spray, we go to the spray rodeo, then we follow the John Day River all the way back to the highway and we stop and we fish everywhere we possibly can along the river on the way
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
And again, that's God's country. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
gorgeous out there. So
Mhm.
I found out that one of our riders' parents has some land out there. Shout
Mhm.
out Skylar and her family. And so we may be able to go hunt out there if they don't sell it first. So,
Oh,
uh,
wow. Yeah,
yeah,
that's prime location too.
yeah, no, and it's got some river frontage and on the John Day, and I mean, if I had the money, I'd buy it
Wow.
in a
You'd
heartbeat.
be the one to swoop it up, huh?
I would, yeah, but the wife wants horses and everything, but I'm on the road so much for rodeo right now that it's really hard
Yeah.
to manage. She works full time, and so we're
How
kind of
much do you travel then?
so usually from about right now,
Mm.
starting this weekend, next weekend ish, I'll be on the road from now until about November, late November.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes, 4 or 5, 6 weeks at a time, depending on our season, but it's a
Yeah.
rodeo every weekend. We did 31 rodeos last year, so.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
lot of travel. I get around most of Oregon. We did a couple in Idaho. We did Reno and Vegas.
Hmm.
Not going back this year.
Mm.
I'll try to avoid Vegas for the rest of my life as much as possible, unless it's the NFR, and
And then
then
that's
we might
different.
we might go back. Yeah, we might go
Yeah.
back for that.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Klamath. What was your early life as far as your faith goes like? I
Hmm.
mean, did you grow up in a Christian home, church, the whole thing?
My parents were unchurched growing up, so,
Sure.
no faith in either side. My grandparents and my parents just happened to move into a spot that the neighbors next door were young pastors.
Oh,
And I joke
praise
around
God.
that that they had something to say about Jesus and some really good strawberry rhubarb pie.
Oh,
And
perfect combination.
it's a great combination. It's a winning combination.
It
And
is.
that changed the trajectory of my personal life
Mm,
and my family's. And it meant that that faith became something that was like normal and
yeah,
a part of life and a part of how we looked at our circumstances and a part of how I looked at my purpose and whether or not I have anything to give in this world. What is it for?
yeah,
It's in service to the purpose that God has set out for me. And so I think that, I can remember, being a kid, raising your hand in children's church, 1979, kind of ages and ages and ages ago. And that doesn't anchor for everybody, but it anchored for me, like
sure.
it really did. And there's ups and downs in everybody's life and faith, and certainly mine has had that too, but I have never lost the anchor, right? Like I've
Right.
never been adrift. And
Yeah,
that's not the story for everybody, but for me, it's just been a really important part of how I look at the world and how I try to act and serve and treat people with respect in a very rough and tumble business. Because for me, that is an expression of love. That is an expression of, like we are all here, God's creation. And so I look at everybody that's out there and try to treat people with kindness and respect, even though, you don't always want to. And but it is the thing that I do try to operate from there. And
yeah,
certainly I think it's the kind of thing that win or lose, it's unshakable, it's unshaken, and it's certainly there's been a lot that's moved around me in my life that could have shaken it. And so there's just this sense of peace that I'm going to give everything I have to give to something I really care about. This is meaningful. I believe in this. This is what I am to be doing right now. And on the other side of it, I I still have purpose, there's still value, there's still good things to do, and I keep going in pursuit of whatever that might be.
that really resonates with me, and I'll get into why a little later, kind of our purpose and what we're up to. I'll give you the 411 on the new scoop on things that not a whole lot of people know about yet. We'll break the news here
I
on
love
this
it.
interview with you.
I
Yeah, it's
love
going to
it.
be fun. Big things in the work, but I'll get there. But um, it's got to be difficult. I mean, there's got to be so much pushback, and you're unfortunately in a state, we are in a state where the atmosphere makes it. a little more difficult, probably a lot more difficult to be um, an openly faith-based politician.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be some real serious challenges with that. And I think, as you were saying, there's, some things that have moved around um, that could have possibly shaken that faith. I mean, you've got to get nailed from every side in this state. I
It's
can't even
true.
imagine. So,
It's true. Yeah.
yeah, how do you operate through that challenge? Especially this day and age in this state. I mean, I can't imagine. It's got to be rough.
I just got something in the mail today from someone that was just enraged that there was some mail piece. I think it might have been something talking about my position on the Second Amendment. And it was like, these are God-given rights. And I got back just this anger from this person saying, you know what? Keep your religion out of my face. And here's, I guess, the thing about all of this is I look at people that are in public service, even for myself, like I guess, I don't know how other people approach it. But for me, I feel like I want people to understand that I'm going to be honest, that I'm going to be a person of integrity, that I have a moral compass for myself, that I look at the world in a way where I'm going to hold myself to a standard.
Yeah.
And and I would hope that that would be something people would welcome. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you're not going to be in this for you aren't in this for self-interest, you're in this for service. And for me, I don't hide the fact that I have those values because I'm a person of faith, and that ties to that faith. And I think that some people can offer up those values and they don't have an anchor to them, and that feels less sturdy.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. It's true. Of course, I think we probably have a lot of the same views when it comes down to, especially just the basics of morality, and where that stems from in the
Hmm.
universe. I
Hmm.
think for me, it's a simple answer. I don't think that there's any such thing as morality without a God. And,
Hmm.
just at its core, it's very basic.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you would think that, um, people would want to have someone representing them that has at least basically a moral compass, but uh, I'm right there with you with the Second Amendment thing. I love that.
Yeah.
And so, just kind of going a little farther down that path, Oregon's difficult not only for you, but really for all of us right now
Yep.
who are
Yep.
people of faith, who are um, Republican, I guess, or even leaning Republican. And this isn't a political podcast by any means, but we are rodeo people. We
Yep.
are in a Western way of lifestyle, and with that comes, I think, for the vast majority of us, faith and conservative views and values, and which is something that I love about it. And so, what do you think? I mean, I can point out 50 things, and I know you touch on most of these issues a lot, that are really just plaguing the state of Oregon. And it's a shame to see such a beautiful state with such great people just getting battered down by this ideology in this state. But I wanted to ask you what you think are the three biggest issues facing our state right now, and kind of how we can navigate through those issues and come back on top, or at least a little better.
Well, the first one that everybody talks to me about is they just want to be able to afford their bills.
It's a good one.
They're feeling like that shouldn't be too much to ask. I just want to be able to afford to live here. And I think that that is actually a huge problem for us, where no matter what the problem has been, the people that have been in charge have kind of looked at it like we're going to tax our way out of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And we're now at the point where we can't do that. We just have to stop that. People can't afford
Yeah.
that anymore.
And
So
we're the most taxed in the nation, or right up there, aren't we?
we are,
Yeah.
and specifically for individuals, not just, what you see on your paycheck, but overall tax burden
Yeah.
for overall cost burden from the state here is pretty extraordinary. So there's
Yeah.
that. Affordability is a
I'm a
thing.
small business owner, so I get it.
Oh, yeah, you feel
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the next thing is we have wandered into this land where our leaders don't make judgments about right or wrong for anything. And
Mm,
that means that the people that are on our streets that are actively using drugs, instead of looking at that saying that's actually a bad choice for you and your families and the neighborhoods where you're living right now,
yeah.
the people in charge are looking at it like it's neutral and we just need to let them live their lives.
Mm,
And that is actually shows a lack of compassion, shows a lack of humanity, and doesn't recognize that person has value and worth. They have something to contribute. It allows them to not fulfill their own purpose.
yeah.
It's so hands off that we say, that we don't even value you enough to bring you back into your own self. They're
Right.
lost themselves.
You see this lack of being truthful and honest and this lack of tough love, which is, in my view, compassion and love. Uh,
Accountability is compassion.
Yep, amen to that. Yep,
Yeah.
that's a tough one to watch. There's a couple Instagram guys that I follow that are on the streets of Portland, kind of reporting down there, and man, it's like
Yes.
it's sad. It's very sad. And I live in Eugene, and so we see it here too. Pretty
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's a point at which if we are serious about a quality of life where people that are walking around in our towns, that they can feel safe too, because there's an unpredictability to people that are not sober
Yeah,
that makes people feel like they might be in harm's way.
I see
And
a lot of mental illness down there too. Also unpredictable.
yep,
Also people who need help, and the mental health crisis and the drug crisis, from what I see, are just hand in hand and compounded, and it just makes it really difficult for those people
yeah.
to get back on their feet down there. Yeah.
Yeah. But so we need actual places for them to go, not
Yeah.
just shelters, but those are folks that need 24-hour care for a while and treatment. And so we need to be able to help them get care that they're not pursuing for themselves.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to do that humanely and carefully, but we can't keep doing what we've been doing. So I think that's a big problem right now. And it's homelessness and addiction and mental health, and they're all kind of stirred together
Yeah.
in spaghetti, where it's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
it's a tough one.
that and schools. So that's my last thing that I really am so deeply concerned about. Oregon does have the lowest, I believe, the lowest birth rate in the nation. So we don't have as
Wow.
many kids going into our schools as we used to. We have about the same number of kids in our public schools today as we did in 1990. And so
Wow.
our population has increased, but fewer people are having families, and those families are smaller. And
Okay.
and you add on to that the fact that our schools no longer have standards for what it will take for you to progress from one grade to the other. We just do social
Mm,
promotion.
yeah.
And our diplomas are participation prizes. Right now, they do not meet a standard. They just meet a credit requirement, which you can achieve by being present, not by being proficient. And that's not helping our kids. It's not helping the next generation. So I want to dig in on that. And I
I feel
want
like
kids.
that started to trickle in as I was in high school. I'm 45 now, something like that. And you'd have to ask my wife how old I am. I forget every time. But I feel like there was these ways to opt out of high school and go to an alternative school or like an
Yeah.
online at your own pace thing, and that whole thing just kind of started when I was in high school, and they kind of give you a free pass here and participation, and yeah, and it's just I feel like it's gotten a lot worse.
Mhm.
But I have to bring it up. Um, I've got to bring up IP 28. I think that
Oh
most of
yeah.
us are not really giving this thing. We're all thinking, yeah, it'll be a cold day in Hades when that happens. And the ones who think that maybe it could get voted in are going, well, I'm going to do it anyway. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't think that our sheriffs are going to enforce it. A lot of people think it's going to end up in litigation forever, which, like the drug thing, it probably would. But um, just the fact that it has gained the momentum that it has in the state of Oregon is a scary thing. Being in rodeo, I think it's going to have a huge effect on rodeo, and we have we have 120, mostly kids, but young adults and kids who we mentor, who ride for our brand, who and the Queen at the Coronation, Jordan was one of them.
Mhm.
She's great. Shout out Jordan, by the way.
Mhm.
And so this is a an underserved group of kids and people who will basically lose everything if they lose rodeo.
Yep.
And with this piece of legislation, we would lose rodeo effectively in the state of Oregon, amongst many other things, the hunting, the fishing, the cattle, I mean, it's just, it's so out there, that it's hard to believe it's even being discussed. And so I'm curious, I mean, I know your stance on it, but I'm curious if you're really giving any weight to this thing, if you think that it could pass or even make it to the ballot, and what, if it did, do you think that would do to affect the state of Oregon and rodeo specifically?
So I do think that it is incredibly likely to make it to the ballot. They only had last check, they were short 11,000 signatures, and they just have to get them turned in by July. They're going to
Yeah,
hit that. They're going to hit that, and it might even be closer than that today. Here's what I would say, though. I just think this is an amazing opportunity for us as Oregonians to just stop being the guinea pigs for people across this nation that think we're stupid. I just People in other places look at Oregon and they say left coast crazy. I have an agenda here. It's a cheap state to operate in. It's more affordable for media than California. It's more likely to do something a little outrageous than Washington. And so they come here. And we got legalized drugs. I mean, you could go down the list of things that national interests have tried to play in our state. This is a chance for us to say, no, we're not stupid. Get out of our state. And
yeah,
this doesn't reflect our Oregon values. This is extreme. We're not going to do this. And I think that the real moment is to push back, kill the measure, kill it dead, kill it like absolutely kill it dead. Make sure that it doesn't rise up again, and begin to push back and say that we're a waste of your time and money. Don't bring your crazy here, because
yeah,
we're having none of it. And this is a chance for us to do that. I mean, Measure 110 to legalize hard drugs in the state, where a kid can get minor in possession for a beer, but they can take fentanyl, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Like that
yeah,
is nuts. And so we made a mistake when we passed that, and we need to fix it at some point, fully fix it. But it's only partially fixed today. But
yeah,
we can absolutely kill this thing when it comes to the ballot. And I feel bad that we're going to have to, but because we can't afford to lose rodeo, hunting, fishing, animal husbandry, pest control, like go on and on and on. This is absolutely insane. There's no other way to talk about IP 28, but absolutely insane. And it's manipulative. Like the people that
yeah. I
have,
don't think people have read the entirety of it. I think even the people who will vote yes on it have really don't understand what they're voting on.
yeah.
But yeah, unprecedented, and it's insane.
It
Yeah,
is. And we just need to actually communicate, get the word out there, do our work communicating with people and make sure that it goes down. I believe that it will. Everything that I have seen so far says that once people know what it is, they absolutely are a strong no. We're just going to have to educate people. And there will be people that vote for it because there are people that don't agree that rodeo should exist, that don't think that anybody should hunt or fish and that everybody should be vegan. And those people are absolutely out there and they would like to impose their approach and their way of life on everybody else. But they're not the
yeah,
majority. They're not the
yeah.
majority.
That's good to hear. Uh, well, I was talking to one of the elders in my church, a year, maybe a little more than a year ago. Well, less than a year ago, because it was when I first went to Prairie City.
Oh,
And
there
I
you
said
go.
I saw this beautiful valley, and I really want to move out of Eugene. Eugene is a difficult place to live for
Mhm.
my family and I. And he said to me, maybe God's got you here to fight the fight here. Maybe he needs you here. And I went, oh, don't say
Mm,
it. And I felt super convicted, and I know
here you are.
he's probably right, but and so if it did pass, it's not like I would, a lot of people are saying, I'm out of here. I'll leave. If by some miracle it passed, I think it would be incredibly difficult to enforce. I think that we're going to have a lot of pushback from sheriff's departments and, our parks departments and fish and game. And I mean, it's going to be because they're going to lose so much funding. They'll have to shut it down. It would be insane. So,
Well, and also
um,
honestly, Oregon conservation is funded by, as you know, hunting and fishing licenses.
yeah,
And so if you're not gonna ha if you're not if you're going to prohibit hunting and fishing, what are you going to do for conservation efforts in the state?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then I think a lot of people, well, we do just along that line, we do Teens and Oregon Mustangs just about every year, either my wife or I, and my business partner, he runs all the vendors over there. It's an amazing program. The Mustang program in the state of Oregon is an amazing program. You get a lot of pushback from people upset about taking wild horses out of the wild and I was just in an online argument. I try not to go back and forth with people online, but just about how cruel it is and these rodeo animals and all this. And I'm going, you have no idea the care. I mean, these are top athletes and they're
Mm-hmm.
worth a lot of money. They are extremely well cared for animals, far
Yeah.
better than you could imagine. Accidents happen. Accidents happen to people in rodeo too. I mean, but the husbandry is at another level when it comes to rodeo. It's the same with these horses.
Mhm.
And if we have no conservation and we have no population control,
Right, right,
what
right.
these populations of animals are going to do to this state is going to be, they're going to devastate it.
Yeah.
And people on the other side don't understand what these programs are really doing. And like you said, the education piece, I want to see cinematic commercials about,
Yeah.
cattle husbandry and I don't know who's going to dump the money into that. I don't have it, but I
Yeah.
would if I could.
Yeah.
Not even just to defeat this bill, but I think that there's so much stigma that just a general education in our state is going to be good either way. And this might be one of the best things to ever happen. If we can get some real money behind the education piece, I don't
Mhm.
think this is going to be a problem moving forward for quite a while, maybe a generation.
Yeah.
And people are getting more excited about rodeo. I feel like conservative values across the country are coming back. Christian values are coming back. There's this resurgence, and so I'm not super worried about it. Um, but rodeo is important. I guess that's a perfect segue into what we're up to on our side. 8 Seconds Strong. Like I said, we did 31 rodeos last season. We do all the OSET meets that we can, 3 different districts. I'm sure you're familiar with OSET.
Yep.
Another great program for those high school kids.
Yep.
Actually, I'm leaving tomorrow for
Uh,
Albany for another OSET. So we do those. Um, and so as a brand, we've just amassed this pretty big chunk of young people in rodeo and OSET and in, the equestrian community in the state of Oregon and abroad, a bunch from Canada even, and we wanted to use that as a platform to mentor these kids from everything from sponsorships, how to get sponsorships, what sponsors are looking for
Mhm.
in a
Mhm.
representative, and how to navigate that situation, from um, nutrition, from workout plans, how to get stronger, be a stronger bull rider, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And being a faith-based company, after just gathering so many of these young people and hearing their testimonies on how we've changed their life or helped them here or there, and it's it's shocking for us because we're nobodies to us, but apparently the things we're doing are resonating with these kids, and so we
Mhm.
decided to take that and make a full-time ministry with it.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we're almost done with all the I've been basically building a nonprofit by myself from the ground up right now, which has been fun to navigate on my own. No
Yeah.
idea what I'm doing, but it's almost done. We got some great board members from the church and from rodeo, and so the plan now is to finalize that. It's called the Hold Fast Ministries.
Hmm.
And we'll use obviously the podcast as a platform. And then, we set up our booth at so many rodeos. We'll be everywhere. But we're really planning on making a change, at least in the state of Oregon in the Pacific Northwest, for the kingdom of God and keeping Jesus in rodeo and keeping those values and just being there for these kids for the next generation and helping to mentor them and whatever they need. But like big picture is going to be rodeo Bible camps. We're super
Oh,
passionate about, Christian based clinics, bull riding clinics, barrel racing clinics. And
wow.
I mean, imagine just a weekend out with, good breakfast and some prayer and some Bible study, and then you go out and work on your bull riding skills. And then at night, you sit around a fire, you do some more worship and Bible study and hang out, have a good dinner. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. So
I was gonna say you guys are gonna be knock the doors off popular.
I hope so. That's the plan. That's the plan. So, and we'd love to have, if you wanted to come out and hang out or something, or, um,
Who
have you
says no to
involved in
good
whatever
food?
way,
I was gonna say good food, bull riding. My
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We want to do it for all sports, eventually maybe do a yearly faith-based rodeo, like a Christian rodeo thing, which I think would be cool. And uh, aside from that, we'll obviously build out a bunch of resources on our website for workout plans, for financial literacy, for faith-based time management. How do you be on the rodeo road and still read your Bible, stuff like that, because the need that we've seen that really needs filled is that most of these kids are on the road. I mean, basically from now until, October, November, and every Sunday is a rodeo.
Oh
They don't
yeah.
get to go to church, and most rodeos don't have cowboy church anymore. I mean, it's getting rarer and rarer. And
Mm.
so how do we
Mm.
serve these athletes while they're on the road during rodeo season, as
Mm.
far as, keeping them churched up and keeping their cup filled and keeping that fellowship, which is huge. That's
Yeah.
why we go to church.
Yeah.
And I noticed it in my own life because I serve in our church on several different teams, usually multiple services. I'm wherever they need me. And it's something that's extremely fulfilling for me to serve my church and my community and just be a servant leader and be in service. And so to not have that while I'm on the road was tough for me.
Mm.
And I thought, man, this can't be just me. And the more people I talked to, the more I found like it's a need that really needs filled. And it's a tricky one because like say a bull rider will come, he's going to show up 10 minutes before he's got a ride. He's going to ride a bull and he's back in his truck to the next rodeo. He's gone. So
Right.
there's no time to get all these athletes kind of in one place at the rodeo. We still offer, of course, for them to come and, if they need prayer, come to the booth. When
Mhm.
we can, we'll go back behind the chutes and fellowship with them and ride. And so we're super excited about it. Not a lot of people know that that's in full swing now, but you guys know now. So there you
Yay,
go.
congratulations. That's huge. And that vision is one that is based on you and your experience and what you see out there.
Yeah.
So you're in the right place at the right time to meet the need that's in front of you.
Yeah. And you touched on that earlier, just a place of service and seeing a need and, standing up and going, okay, God, there I am, use me.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I'm going to be the best at it. I don't know that I'm technically worthy or any of the above, but if we all waited until we were perfect to make disciples, then we'd never get there. So
It's my
the time
favorite
is now.
thing. Go before you're ready.
That's right. Yeah. So is there anything else you want people to know? I don't want to take up a bunch of your time. I know you're busy. I'm hoping that we catch you at least in Canby at the rodeo. You got to swing by there and say
Yes,
hi.
I will. Absolutely will. I'm sure that I'm going to be hitting as many rodeos as I can this summer because one, it's rodeo.
Yeah.
But two, I'm going to be traveling all over the place too. So hopefully they'll hit some of those schedules just on so that I can get to some of
Yeah.
these. I've never done the spray rodeo. So now
Oh,
now you've got it on my list.
yeah, it's coming up too. We'd love to see you out there, but I mean, there's nothing like it. It's in the football field of a high school
Oh
in
wow.
Spray, which is,
Yeah.
Spray's middle of nowhere, God's country, beautiful. The people are amazing over there. And I think that I can't remember how many people he said their population was on a normal day, but it triples. It's a big rodeo. It sounds like a little podunk out in the middle of nowhere rodeo, but I mean, people come and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a great time. They've got these old grain silos that they cut the front out of and made a bar in one and like a big office in the other. And they've got little fire pits with picnic tables around in front of it.
Oh,
It's the
well.
coolest thing. It's so
Yeah,
cool. If you can
yeah.
make it, you got to come.
It's on
I'll
my
get you
list now.
tickets. I'll
Okay,
make
that's
sure you get tickets.
we got a deal.
The,
We got a
the
deal right now.
VIP treatment out there at Spray. So.
Well, I just appreciate this time. This has been really, really wonderful. So thank you for that. And thank you for all the good work you're doing. You know,
Thanks.
sometimes there's just nobody coming up behind. It's got to be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's really, really a great position to be in because then there's some clarity. Like, oh, this is for me. I got to do this thing. And
Yeah.
I'm hearing that from what you're saying today.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not straightforward. It's a struggle being away from home and the family, living in I'm actually in the toy hauler now. This is podcast central. But totally worth it. When I
Yeah.
see we sell a shirt that has the Hold Fast logo on the back, which is a cross and a shield. If I see a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid come in my booth with his own money or her own money and buy that hoodie, and they wear it
Mhm.
every day after that. I mean, to see a young person in the state of Oregon professing their faith publicly, for me, is a big, big deal.
It is a big
And
deal.
so
Yeah.
if I can help facilitate that in any way,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I love
Yeah.
that. It's super satisfying for us. And one hoodie, one t-shirt at a time, and we'll change the world, I hope.
I love it. I love it. Well, I look forward to seeing you again and out in the rodeo circuit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your time today and good luck. I know you've got a fight ahead of you, but I think it's an easier fight than it would have been um, even 2 years ago. So I have faith in our state, and there's so many. I don't want to make it sound like Oregon's horrible. There are so many good people here, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we really have a chance this time to I hate to say it, but get the crazies out of there and bring our state back to where it needs to be. So I appreciate you being out there and fighting the good fight, Christine, and thank you for being here today. And I hope I see you soon.
Yep. Look forward to it. Thanks for the
All
time.
right. Yeah, of
Bye.
course. Bye bye.